All right, buddy, welcome back to Black Hat 2018, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm very tired. I'm sorry, folks. Our next guest, Cody Cornell, swimlane.com. That's an intriguing name. What do you guys do?
So Swimlane is a security orchestration, automation, and response technology.
Well, hold on a second. My reptilian brain can't take that in. Say it slow again.
Yeah, so security orchestration, automation, and response.
That sounds like it does a lot of good things.
Right. So, organizations typically are struggling with, finding good talent from an incident response perspective.
Yes, it's terrible, right.
And also the number of alarms they're managing is obviously continuing to go up.
It's like everything's too much. There's not enough people and there's too much stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically what Swimlane does is we basically automate the work that a security analyst would normally have to do in a given day. So we take in alarms, phishing emails, a lot of those catalysts that are tasks that that a security analyst needs to process in an individual day, and we automate that work. So we model that process, and then we automate that work so that analysts can focus on things that are much more interesting, but also much more valuable for the organization.
Now, that's a big task because there's so much, I don't know if false state is the right term, but you have a risk, you have a threat, they're different things. It's voluminous. How do you kind of filter it out so they get what they need as opposed to all the noise?
Right. So if you think about the things that an analyst does on a day-to-day basis, they spend a lot of time doing kind of, I guess would be high volume, low complexity tasks. So ticket creation, email notification.
Administration stuff.
So the way that you get those analysts to those things that are important is basically automate the work that is repetitive. So how about I automatically open a ticket for IT or for the network team? How about I automatically enrich the SIM alarm from threat intelligence? How about I automatically parse this phishing email so that I don't have to do all that by hand? So that when I'm doing work, the things that aren't fully automatable I can focus on, because those are things that probably require a little bit more attention. Those things that are coming in the hundreds of thousands in a day.
Right. Nice deal with gray hair.
Yep.
I'm old school. If I can't touch it, look at it, analyze it, I don't trust it. I verify everything. This automation stuff I think is fantastic. As a client, I'd want to say, that's great, Cody, that you're automating all these processes. How do I know we're not missing something?
Right.
So how do you put that confidence back into somebody like myself that is going to pay you and hire you, and it's good, but I'm old school. I want to verify everything's working.
Right. So, people learn to trust automation platforms in a couple different ways. One of the more common one is the fact that, we've integrated case management and your automation platform together.
Okay.
So, in certain circumstances, you don't want to automate a particular remediation or action. So what you'll do is put in a push button option so that you can have your security analyst, you can have that human in the loop.
All right, good.
And you can push that button to allow that remediation to take place. The nice part is, over time, after someone's pushed that button 1,800 times, they trust the system.
Okay.
And they make that
an
automation.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And, then they move on to the next thing. So, the idea is there that you have the opportunity to build that trust, but, over time by, keeping that person in the loop. But, yeah, that's typically how we see that done.
Listen, there's a 1 million person shortage. A friend on here just a minute ago said there's a 2 million personnel shortage of IT professionals.
Yeah.
We have to do this.
Right, absolutely.
And if we don't, we're just going to be overwhelmed and we're going to lose, really.
Right.
Who's your average client? I'm assuming it's large enterprise.
It's actually a mix. Obviously, organizations that have, an internal SOC are obvious customers for someone like Swimlane. But, the way we kind of look at it is a little bit more demographics driven. So, organizations that have come to the conclusion that not responding to alarms, not actioning threat intelligence, not processing phishing emails is kind of unacceptable business behavior.
Right. That's right.
You're going to get sued for it the number of people that, haven't got to the point where that's common business practice. So, anybody that falls into that category, I think is, ripe to be an automation customer. And, we have customers that have 2 security analysts, no security analysts, people are doing as a collateral duty.
Okay.
But obviously, we have organizations that have hundreds of security analysts.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I got a small business. I know I got to do this stuff. Let's say I'm going to go out and I'm going to hire an IT guy. Could an IT guy contract with you, and then could that IT guy have 6 customers under him? And he becomes their IT guy for 6 of his clients, and he uses Swimlane to kind of, do his job and exponentially. I know it'd be 6 separate probably licenses or something, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I could see somebody like that multiplying his ability to serve people because we have shortages. Would it work that way too?
Absolutely, yeah. So Swimlane is a software platform that organizations run. It's really typical for managed service providers. So we have several customers that are managed service providers.
Managed service providers. See, I don't know all these terms, folks. I'm not smart enough. All right, makes sense.
Yeah. So if you think about a managed service organization, one of their biggest costs is people, right? So how many customers can they manage with existing security staff that they have? So implementing an automation platform like Swimlane allows them to manage a lot more customers with the same amount of staff. For us, we're hoping that we're actually helping them drive margin. so that they can, service more customers without adding, additional staff, which are hard to find or very expensive. And, turnover is always a problem, especially with those tier 1, tier 2 security analysts.
Now, are you unique in this space, or one of the few people to do this kind of thing?
Oh, no, there's definitely other competitors in the space. Yeah. I mean, there's been acquisitions in the space. I think we're still really early on. I think adoption is still, in its infancy.
It's kind of a new thing in the biz.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
Yeah,
it seems like it should have been an old thing, really. But
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think people are surprised sometimes when this technology didn't already exist. But if you think about, the prevalence of REST APIs and things along those lines have made technologies like Swimlane much more, I guess easier to build, right? I mean, you're building an integration with a different technology that doesn't have an API or doesn't have some type of stream or something like that you can connect to. It's hard to automate and interconnect with those third-party systems. So
now, any new vulnerabilities, because everything's API now.
Right.
And it used to be back in the day, oh no, you can't connect to my system, it's all proprietary. And all of a sudden it becomes, everybody's got an API and we're all good. Where are we with that, security-wise?
I think API security is something that a lot of people are starting to focus on. I think it's also become something that customers expect, much like, we expected people to move away from flat clients to web-based administration consoles and things like that. I think there's an expectation that you have a robust, well-documented...
You need to do it, you got to do it,
API,
right?
Because...
But API is basically some guy's code that connects your two systems together, and we know how coding works.
Right.
Put it out on the market, don't worry about the security part.
Yeah,
I'm worried about the vulnerabilities in API. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but
no, I think there's a concern there. But I mean, like any other service you connect to, you hope that it's hardened, that there's authentication, that you're implementing role-based access control and limited privileges and things along those lines. So I mean, you're connecting to a system. It's a user account. It should be provisioned properly, and you should have the right amount of access. So I mean, there's things that you should do, but it's always a concern.
Cody Cornell, swimlane.com. I love the name. Stay in your swim lane. SWIMLANE for my podcast listeners. Thanks for coming on SecurityGuideTV.com.
Really appreciate it.
And ASIS. You going to ASIS? We got to get you over to the physical security side and teach these guys something. They got to know about this stuff. Thanks for coming on the show. We'll be back in a minute here at Black Hat USA 2018.